This may look like a scene from The Walking Dead, or perhaps the route to a derelict ghost town in the American West. But this is, or at least was, a well-traveled stretch of State Highway 87 in Jefferson County, Texas. This section was completed in 1930, a key segment and a path that would eventually span 250 miles from Galveston to northeast Texas. A celebrated achievement upon its completion, Highway 87 would go on to face decades of battle against nature. Unlike newer coastal highways, which are elevated and constructed well inside the natural barrier of sand dunes, 87 for much of this stretch was barely off the beach. And the beach, along with the rest of the Gulf Coast, was eroding. Over the next few decades, the highway washed out in several places, but the occurrences were far enough apart in space and time that the state could justify the repairs. This was, after all, the shortest route between Port Arthur and the Boulevard Ferry, and was traveled daily by fishermen and oil workers, among others. In their minds, at least, 87 was essential. It was the only road access to several drill sites and even a small oil processing plant. In 1989, 40 miles down the road, Hurricane Jerry made landfall in Galveston. Jerry was minor, only a Category 1 storm, and deaths and inland damage were minimal. But for Highway 87, it was devastating. The storm surge had washed out nearly 20 miles of pavement. By this time, better inland roads such as I-10 had already alleviated much of the traffic. The state formally closed the dilapidated stretch between High Island and Searem in 1990 and never reopened it. Today, the stretch of beach feels remote. Visitors become increasingly sparse as you venture off the pavement. Occasionally a Jeep or four-wheel drive truck coasts down the sand, now miles away from the nearest paved road. Here, the highway's battle is over, but the same risk continues for many other coastal roads in Texas. The state's average beach erosion rate is over 4 feet a year, and even a tropical storm can decimate low-lying infrastructure. State, local, and federal entities continue to collaborate to stop or at least slow beach erosion, but the long-term fate of roads like 87 remains uncertain.